Hi, I'm Sharon Tang and you're watching the Edge TV Evening Highlights. Kicking off our news picks today, the FBM KLCI finally settling above the 1,600 level as Asian shares rallied. Investors were cheered after Wall Street experienced a massive rebound, with the Dow surging 4% or over 600 points, its third biggest point gain of all time. Sentiment was also supported by hints that a US Fed rate hike could be delayed. At the close, the KLCI was up at 1602, buoyed by gains in heavyweights including British American Tobacco and Carlsberg Brewery. Over 2 billion shares worth 2.3 billion ringgit were traded. We're looking at about 730 gainers versus 206 decliners. Now, TA Securities technical analyst Stephen Su told theedgemarkets.com that the Asian share gains aside, a stronger ringgit had supported Malaysian equities. The local currency trading at 4.23 against the US dollar from 4.25 at yesterday's close. Now on to less rosy news. Moodys Investors Service says clouds are gathering on Malaysia's positive outlook. It says the Malaysian government's fiscal consolidation remains intact, which is a good thing, since fiscal consolidation is the linchpin of the agency's decision to reaffirm its sovereign ratings for Malaysia. But underlying factors, now they've changed. Moody's Vice President and Senior Analyst of Sovereign Risk, Christian de Guzman, says economic, external and political factors have all increased. These factors include the weaker ringgit, lower commodity prices and a deteriorating growth outlook that's common among emerging economies. He says these can have a feedback effect into the real economy through confidence and sentiment. In January, Moodys had affirmed Malaysia's government bond and issuer ratings at A3 with a positive outlook. Whether it can sustain this A3 rating for the next term will depend on the nation's capacity to sustain fiscal rationalisation. Amid all the fuss over a weak ringgit, Prime Minister Dato Sri Najib Razak says the softer currency is great for tourism numbers because it makes Malaysia a value-for-money tourist destination. Najib says the ringgit will give tourists more bang for their buck because of the foreign currency exchange. He adds that the ringgit is one of the country's huge selling points to drive up foreign visitor numbers. Maybank's second quarter net profit up marginally, rising 0.6% to about 1.6 billion ringgit on higher net interest, Islamic banking and insurance income. Revenue rose 9%. The bank's planning to pay a dividend of 24 cents a share for the quarter. Net profit for the 6 months to June 30th came in 3% higher at some 3.3 billion ringgit. Revenue grew 11%. Looking ahead, Maybank says it's looking at a more challenging environment both on the domestic and regional fronts. Its game plan to focus on organic growth, though it's not discounting possible M&As abroad.
Well, at the moment, obviously, we have to pay more attention to the organic growth given the market turbulence. But market turbulence should also offer opportunities for inorganics. There must be one or two out there that would not be able to survive this. So yes, the simple answer is we continue to scout the field to look at the appropriate opportunities. I can't be specific with you, but you've been told the countries that we've been looking at. And when we're ready to announce, we will announce.
The group is also expecting loans growth to slow this year as consumers tighten their belts after the implementation of the GST. It says it will focus on deposit taking and be more selective on asset growth. Less than 2 days ahead of Bersih's rally, Malaysia's internet regulator, the MCMC, has moved to block access to websites promoting the gathering on grounds this would threaten, among others, economic prosperity. Now, Bersih has held a press conference today and it says it's the MCMC that's sending the wrong signal to the economy. The coalition says MCMC's move is akin to censorship and that it's not going to sit well with foreign investors.
The MCMC is acting like a colonial body on colonized people. Free flow of information, internet, these are considered necessary conditions for any modern economy to operate. And Malaysia is not a huge economy like China that you can afford to ban social media and yet draw foreign investment.
Bersih is planning mammoth overnight rallies this weekend in Kuala Lumpur, Kota Kinabalu and Kuching. And that's the last of our evening highlights. I'm Sharon Tang. Thanks for watching.